have to limit your mistakes. You have to make sure you get back on defense on long shots. And they're a good transition team. They're going to push the ball. They're good. They have good speed. So we all have to get back defensively, and we have more size, we have less speed, so that's going to be their advantage. So if we limit those turnovers, those long shots, those long rebounds that they can take advantage and run out, we're going to be okay.
Now, Russell Westbrook a little bit?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's tough. He penetrates, he's quick, he's got a lot of size, he's got athleticism. So, he's got all the pluses, pluses to get in the lane and be effective. So that's what he did some parts of the game in game one.
So does it become a matter of why he got into the lane? If it's him breaking you down because he's supposed to, it's one thing. If it comes off transition and a bad shot, it's another.
Yeah, he can probe there and he can get in the lane by different ways. But we just have to make sure we support our guards. And make him kick the ball out and make him make top shots from the outside more than shots in the lane and layups.
Well, on the other end with the big guys, were you pleased with the amount of touches and looks that you and Andrew got in the post?
Yeah, I think we did we did okay as far as that. I think we can still get a little better. But we did well trying to put the ball inside. They're active and they collapse the lane really well, so you have to move the ball. It's not going to get in on the first look. So they force you to make the ball swing sides of the floor, and then you have to be smart how to put it in. But we did okay. We did pretty well. They're active. They're tough. They front a lot, so that it makes it a little harder to get the ball in there.
Do you feel like the chemistry between you and Andrew kind of picked up right where it left off before his injury?
Yeah, actually yes. We have good chemistry. We understand our strengths and our positioning on the floor. So yeah, I think it was a good game for both of us. Very effective. I'm going to try to have another one on Tuesday.
How much of what you guys do in terms of like the emphasis on transition defense is based on offense?
There's a percentage there to it. You can't control when you miss shots where the ball is going to go sometimes, and if they get the ball, they run out and they take advantage of that. But we can control. You always have to send two guys back for sure. Try to make those runouts to stop, and then 4 and 5 is a big key that we also get back and we support our guards. Get back, spring to the free throw line, and make sure we close lanes and we don't give their guards any open spaces.
Pau, they don't run a lot of actions for their bigs, like the 4 and 5
right.
in the post and the half court. How does that change your mindset defensively?
Well, they don't mostly, but they set a lot of screens, so you have to be always helping on pin downs, on pick and rolls. They're very active that way. Then they got 2 pick and poppers that you have to be alert on Green and Kirstich, and then they go to the boards extremely hard. So so they do different things. They might not get looks as far as one-on-ones and a lot of post-ups and stuff, but they're active, and you have to be active as well.
Does it seem like in the first and fourth quarters when you were focused like on Westbrook's penetration, then it stopped that? It mostly seemed to come in spurts like at the end of the second and third.
Mm-hmm.
Is that part of that?
Yeah, that's part of that. That's why bigs, we have to be so active, helping our other guards and on Westbrook and on Durant especially.
There were a couple of plays, one where Shannon set up you for a dunk through the lane on a pass, another time Shannon with Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sort of also what you're talking about with the idea that the entry pass may not be there initially, just being patient,
right,
taking that miss?
Right, yeah, we've got to create penetration in different ways. It's not just going to go directly on running, the regular offense, just pass to the wing and pass inside. We're going to have to create penetration in different ways and be aware of their ability of taking charges and blocking shots. Because College, I think, took 4 or 5 charges the other day. Have to be aware that when you penetrate, he's going to come and stand right in front of you. So you have to be alert and just be able to drive and kick without charging. And then Ibaka's a good shot blocker, so you have to be aware of that too. And like I said, just be smart, understand their personnel, what they do well, and then just do something to counter it back.
What adjustments do you anticipate with Oklahoma City trying to make in Game 2?
What adjustment are they going to make?
What adjustments do you anticipate they could try to make?
I don't know. I think I don't know what adjustments they're going to make, really. They played hard. I think they did a good job on trying to cover us. They held certain players under their shooting average. They did a good job on fronting the post and trying to keep the ball out of there. So we shot at 40%. So I think they did their part, and we just still won the game. We'll see what kind of adjustments they make. It'll be interesting.
You mentioned playing hard. It's a good thing you played hard in the first quarter yesterday, because after that the game was even.
Pretty much.
From a scoring standpoint.
Yeah, pretty much. They made their runs, and we had a good lead in the first quarter, so that kind of gave us a little cushion to not have the game in jeopardy at any moment, pretty much. So we have to make sure we start up right, and hopefully build on the leads. I know it's hard, when you play against a good quality team, to sustain the kind of effort and the kind of effectiveness that we had in the first quarter. But it's just something that we would like to do: sustain that effort, sustain that energy, and make sure we just build leads instead of losing them sometimes.
Why does the team click so well during the first quarter in games?
We were just very energized yesterday. We were looking forward to that first playoff game, and it's something that I knew it was going to happen. I was just more worried about that factor of sustaining that energy that we were going to implement in the first quarter. But other than that, I think that's basically why we came out so hard, and we had that nice lead. Probably they were a little tentative at first. Also, Oklahoma first playoff game. There's always tension and nerves. Their second game, those nerves won't be there, and they're going to be more effective coming out of the gate. So it'll be interesting.
Time for two more.
Against a team that doesn't shoot the ball particularly well from the outside, is it emphasized even more than need to build an early lead? Is it even more helpful than it might normally be?
In our part, we don't shoot the ball well.
No, I meant they don't shoot the ball terribly well.
Yeah,
on the outside.
no, but probably. I mean, it's always good to build leads early to make sure you're not coming from behind, especially at home and on the road, pretty much. But I think it'll be good if we come on hard again, and we establish the tempo, we control the game, play at our pace, and we're not having to rally back. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
Now,
You guys
you're
missed
all
an
aware of
opportunity
this
to-
team's mentality and not relying on Kobe too much, especially with him banged up. Can you talk about just how important that is to continue?
I think it's important because we have just so many weapons. Again, we have so many guys that can hurt you, and so many mismatches on the floor. So it's important that we utilize all our weapons.
Are you doing that right now, though? I mean, is the team in a good place?
I think so. I think our shot selection was pretty good yesterday. There was a lot of balance. I think all the starters shot over 10 shots, if I'm not mistaken, more or less. So yeah, I think that's a good stat that you want to see on a regular basis.
Last question from Ramona.
All right. I mean, you and Phil both talked about that you had an opportunity to kind of strike a psychological blow and didn't really do it. Did you feel like you missed that shot? I mean, you got a young team and you could have beat them by 25-30 if you sustained the first quarter.
Right. Well, I don't know how tough of a hit would have been if we were able to beat them yesterday by 20 or 30 points. I think you still have to go out there and play game two, and this is a very good opportunity now to give him a good psychological hit, emotionally. So we'll see if we're able to do it. But I think it's a good opportunity for us to establish even a better, stronger game on game two, and get a even more convincing win on game two, and then go to Oklahoma. Really they're on their toes, and we take advantage of that opportunity and try to get that game 3-2.